Well, hello everyone. Today is Tuesday, February the 1st, 2022. And this is the late Pastor Howie Maxson. I said I'd have a video for you today, but I'd forgotten I had a 10:30 appointment at a place 2 hours away. And I'm just getting back and I'm going to do the video now. So if you're on and catch this live, hello, and if not, it will be available as soon as I get it recorded and put onto YouTube as well. So today happens to be, in the Celtic Christian calendar, St. Brigid's Day. And I want to read about her. She was a young woman in Ireland and became quite famous for her generosity, and is an example for us, I guess, of generosity too. Today is also the day that the Celtics Christians celebrated not only St. Brigid's Day, but St. Brigid's Day became the day they also celebrated the coming of spring. It became the day that they recognized as the first quarter, or the beginning of the end of the winter quarter and beginning of the spring quarter. So let me read to you what the Celtic Daily Prayer Book 1 has to say about Brigid. Brigid of Kildare. She lived from AD 450 to 523. 450 about, circa 450. And the reading is called A Call to Recklessness. Many legends and few facts survive about this Irish woman who founded a community at Kildare, primarily for women. She was famed for her generosity and hospitality, and her influence was widespread, but she remained eminently practical. As a young woman, Brigid was in the habit of giving freely of her father's possessions and food to the poor and needy. Her father became so frustrated that he decided to sell her to the king and bundled her into his chariot. He left her at the castle gate while he consulted with the king, and Brigid was approached by a beggar asking for alms. She gave him her father's sword. Brigid's father and the king were amazed, and the king said he could not buy her from her father. She is too good for me. I could never win her obedience. And the other legend is that he wasn't selling his daughter into slavery. He was selling her to be the wife of the king. And the king said, I can't possibly marry this young woman because she'd give away all my stuff too. Anyway, once Brigid was a guest at a house when lepers came begging for food. Brigid could find no one about but a young, dumb boy, meaning he was not able to speak. So she asked him for the key to the kitchen. He turned to her and was able to say, I know where it is kept. And together they fetched food and attended to the guests. Brigid led a group of women who had decided to become holy nuns, and she asked Bishop Mel to bless their taking of the veil. Brigid held back out of humility, but the bishop saw the Spirit of God descend upon her and called her forward. Laying hands upon her, he said, I have no power in this matter. God has ordained Brigid. And so it came to pass that by the intervention of the Holy Spirit, the form of ordaining a bishop was read over Brigid. A poor leper came to Brigid one day and asked her for a cow. Brigid looked at him and asked, which would you rather, to take a cow or to be healed of your leprosy? The man chose, I would rather be healed than own all the cows in the world. So Brigid prayed, stretched out her hand, and the leper was made whole. May God our Father, our strength and light, bless you with what you most need, beyond even all you could ask. For the weather is always right for the sowing of good seed. So that's the reading about St. Brigid, and February the 1st or February the 2nd, which we know as Groundhog's Day, is the anglicized equivalent of what the Celtic saints regarded as cross-quarter days. And a cross-quarter day is that midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And so it's called the end of the winter quarter, dominated by the solstice, and the beginning of the spring quarter, dominated by the equinox. So it's not really spring, it's the beginning of spring. And today was an excellent day for that where we live here in the North Country, because the temperatures got up to 38 degrees, snow started to melt, the sun's been shining all day long, so it kind of helped me just be blessed by remembering St. Brigid's Day and this whole cross-quarter tradition. And now let me read the scriptures that go along with February 1st. Psalm 80, verse 17. Let your hand rest on the man at your right hand, the Son of Man you have raised up for yourself. And that, of course, is a reference to God the Father laying his hand upon Jesus. Judges 6, 14 through 24. The Lord turned to him and said, Go in the strength you have and save Israel out of Midian's hand. Am I not sending you? And of course, God was talking to Gideon, who did deliver, was one of the judges raised up to deliver the children of Israel. So in verse 15, Gideon says, Pardon me, my Lord, but how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my family. The Lord answered, I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites, leaving none alive. Gideon replied, If now I have found favor in your eyes, give me a sign that it is really you talking to me. Please do not go away until I come back and bring my offering and set it before you. And the Lord said, I will wait until you return. Gideon went inside, prepared a young goat, and from an ephah of flour he made bread without yeast. Putting the meat in a basket and its broth in a pot, he brought them out and offered them to him under the oak. The angel of God said to him, Take the meat and the unleavened bread, place them on this rock, and pour out the broth. And Gideon did so. Then the angel of the Lord touched the meat and the unleavened bread with the tip of the staff that he had in his hand. Fire flared from the rock, consuming the meat and the bread. And the angel of the Lord disappeared. When Gideon realized that it was the angel of the Lord, he exclaimed, Alas, sovereign Lord, I have seen the angel of the Lord face to face. But the Lord said to him, Peace, do not be afraid. You are not going to die. So Gideon built an altar to the Lord, right there, and called it, The Lord is Peace. To this day it stands in Ophrah of the Abizrites. And so this is how Gideon was called into the ministry that he fulfilled for God. And he was called simply by not only God's gracious invitation to him, the least of the clan of his family, the least of the clan of Manasseh, the least of the tribe of Israel, but he was empowered and encouraged by the way the Lord showed that he would be with him, and that it would be the Lord using Gideon to deliver Israel. And that brings us to Revelation 3:20. Here I am, Jesus is depicted as saying, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they with me. And so God is knocking upon the hearts, not of outsiders. He's knocking upon the hearts of his people, his church, and desiring us, inviting us to open up ourselves to him, that he may not only feast with us, but that he may put us to use to his glory in this world as he did Gideon. as he did the man at his right hand. This month, the readings are from the writings of different Christians, both contemporary and from the past, all of them devoted to God. And the first reading is from Brother Lawrence, who wrote, "The Practice of the Presence of God. Pray remember what I have recommended to you, which is to think often of God, by day, by night, in your business, and even in your diversions. He is always near you and with you. Leave him not alone. You would think it rude to leave a friend alone who came to visit you. Why then must God be neglected? Do not then forget him, but think of him often. Adore him continually. Live and die with him. This is the glorious employment of a Christian. If we do not know it, we must learn it." So may God be with us as we think about these things, and as we move from the darkness of winter, the winter quarter, to the brightening of the spring quarter, and the renovation of the earth, and the resurrection of flowers lying dormant, and grass, and all the things that spring bring to us. I know there's still winter left, but it is a good sign. The days are longer, and they'll be getting even longer. And may the light of Christ not only dawn in our lives, but become brighter and brighter. Well, that's what I have for you today. I don't have any meetings as far as I know tomorrow, so tomorrow I'll see you again at our normal time. God bless your day.